Right.
Starting, shut up. We're live, I think. Thomas.
Yes, we are. We are on it. Yes, good. Finally.
After minor technical difficulties, as it is, we've got a show we want to talk about, WWE Roadblock, and we just finished watching it. And yeah, how are you, Thomas?
I'm good, man. Just finally cooling down a little bit here in the great city of Melbourne. So, Roadblock, let's go. See if anything changes.
Yes. Well, I'll start off. I always like these network specials because there's something different. Because they give something, another thing to watch, and another reason to justify having the network. And yeah, I don't know what you think about these. What do you think about these, Thomas?
I like them. You got to love the classic sets. You got to love the
good.
the old-fashioned way of doing things. You know, the house show sets. Even if it's a case of everything's reasonably predictable, it's always a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's weird when they do it, but it's because it's like a live event on TV and the little set. But it gives that, it kind of feels like you're there in a way. It's hard to explain, but yeah, no, it was a decent show, and we'll just discuss it as we always do, segment by segment. Anyway, we'll start off with the first segment. New Day versus League of Nations. Barrett and Sheamus versus Kofi and Big E. New Day starting off the show was a good idea. Got the crowd going straight away as Big E was screaming into the mic backstage. Excuse me while I keep blowing my nose. Tom, take over every time I do this.
That's fine. Look, all I'd really say is it was pretty much what everyone expected out of this match. New Day retained. League of Nations, I wish they'd do something a little bit more with them because they're sort of really, really stale at the moment.
And they're capable of more too.
All I can really say in regards to that is there's no Rusev, no Del Rio. They were over in Atlantic City because there was another house show happening tonight. So it's obviously left half of them. Barrett and Sheamus there. So do that research, man. Get in on it. So Xavier Woods obviously really good. Big E playing the role of the kid and the Booty-O's promo before. Faces win. Cool. They're playing a really, really good tweener role at the moment, the New Day. So you've got them being heels when they're against faces and faces when they're against heels. So swap it over.
Yeah, well, now that my nose is less clogged, it was a good match. I noticed one thing, and I don't know why I liked it so much, but there was a lot of quick tags. We had so many different two opponents at the same time that it was good, and it kept them. Tag team matches can get boring sometimes because usually there's a beatdown and then a beatdown, and then you get the hot tag, and then it's over. Yeah,
it was a typical sort of like hot opener match. They played it really, really well because they got the crowd going real early. They got it into it with Big E's promo, and they fired up the crowd really, really nicely.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, as always, as we mentioned, on the trombone, great.
Yes.
And I think this has confirmed their face turn. And I actually am a fan of it. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I don't know whether or not they're faces, pure faces, or if they're tweeners. I think they're still tweeners at the minute, but they're more face than they are heel. Put it that way.
They couldn't be more close to faces now because you could just. I think it was because they were versing heels, like you said, but it's just the way they reacted and. Even the finish with the heel kind of tactics was like, oh, hang on, are they face? But I think the way to go now is to if you want to keep them together, they've got to turn. So, Faith, they won, thank God, by cheating. So you don't know what's going on there. But Kofi, one spot I loved in the match was Sheamus's cloverleaf and Kofi literally flipping out of it. I'd have to watch it again to see how the hell he did it. They didn't show a replay of it.
Just really good stuff. And Kofi hit that finisher of his we haven't seen in forever.
SOS.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, yeah, which is always good. Really good little power move. But obviously he's got a reputation for being a bit more high flyer, but he can do that in ring stuff, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So, yeah, good match. No idea what they're going to do for Mania. Actually, I have no idea. They've got 3 weeks to make up their minds. So...
They'll sort something out. Match. Don't be surprised if Enzo and Cass debut on Monday.
I don't think they should. I want them to, but I don't think they should. Right, this is 3 weeks behind a Mania.
I think Raw after Mania is the way to do them, but they need an opponent, and they've run through everyone. So
Yeah, it's just the New Day turning or pretty much acting as faces. I mean, there's that argument where live shows they can be, a lot of live shows they test things. Like I remember when I was at a live show, Punk was a heel, but he was a face at the live show. Just simple storyline, so he could verse Brian. But yeah, we'll see how they go. I think a multi-man match will probably happen.
Yeah,
with all the people there, if not Enzo and Cass. Chuck the Dudleys in there.
We'll see what happens.
Chuck the Luchas, see what happens. As we always like to say in this show, let's see what happens. Anyway,
exactly.
Tom, you bring up the next point.
Don't really need to spend a whole lot of time on this one. Paul Heyman.
Even though it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, Paul Heyman's general hype promos are always amazing.
They're the same, and they're always amazing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a very sort of easy script to follow, but yeah, you've got to love every single time he's on the mic. He just knocks it dead. He seemed to give the one thing he did with that promo was make sense of what had happened with the Wyatts at the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
So he sort of said, "Okay, we know that Brock knows that Bray cost him the title. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that away. So Brock Lesnar will take his revenge whenever he likes."
Yep.
Which is what it needed, because it's sort of like, hey, by the way, this happened. Why the fuck has Brock not responded? So yeah.
And that was simply due to the creative changing their minds. But it was like the Madison Square Garden promo. It was just so good. And they'll probably have another backstage edition of that, like they did on Heyman Hustle on his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just awesome. You can just mind what he's saying, and it just gets better every time. He just screams, and it's just like, I'm waiting for one day where his voice breaks during the promo, but that hasn't happened yet. So it'll be funny when it does.
Fantastic when it does.
Yeah, when he's like, the Conqueror. But
our superstar.
It's a bit of Kimmel. Anyway, yeah, so that was good. Built up the match to Bray, which we'll talk about later. And another thing was probably in my opinion, the worst part of the night. But we'll go back to that. Next, Chris Jericho promo. The advertisement was a highlight reel. I read that. I don't know if anyone else read that.
It got changed.
When he walked out with ring gear, I'm like, okay. But I knew he was going to do a promo. I didn't think AJ was going to be there. Would have been good for a pop. But,
AJ was at the Atlantic City.
Yeah. So it comes out, typical Jericho fashion, straight line, walks, doesn't look at the crowd, just walks. We're like, here we go. Here comes the heel promo we want. Comes out, begs shit out of Canada, even though he's from Canada. That's what was so good about it. Typical mic work, I'm the best in the world at what I do. Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now?
The psychology behind him coming out and going, I'm in Canada, I'm at home, and they're going to cheer for me. Fuck that. They're not cheering for me. I'm going to, basically bury this joint and put as much shit on it as I can.
He still got cheered, but it was still good.
I love it. Yeah. He gets cheered because he's just so bloody good at what he does. Because, of course, people who appreciate good wrestling are going to, and the good psychology and the good promo and all the rest are going to really, really appreciate that. So, but, yeah. It is what he is. He is one of the all-time great heels.
Yeah. And then he randomly brings up Swagger. And I'm like, what? I understood. I thought he was going to list a few names. Then about 2 minutes later, he understood why he mentioned Swagger, because Swagger's music hits, and it's like, what's the point of this match? But, they've got to do something with it. And Swagger comes out as the face with a big American flag behind him on the Titatron, which didn't really work. Good enough match.
Here is the good American patriot, Jack Swagger, here to defend the reputation of Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, there is a bit of sense. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong, because I can't think. But JBL referred to him as a 2-time world champion. When did he win his second title?
I don't think he ever did.
I don't think he did. He said it twice. And I'm like, hang on. He won it against Jericho, because they mentioned that when he beat him and cashed in. Then he lost it to Ray, and then he never got it back. He had the feud with Del Rio, but never won it.
Yeah.
So am I right there? I think he's only won it once.
This is JBL commentary at its finest, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. And he said it twice. I'm like, don't say it again because it's wrong. Anyway, and good enough match. Jericho won. That was always going to happen. And then once again, criticizing JBL. I don't know if you remember, but what the hell was he doing as Jericho was walking back to the backstage?
I don't know. This is one of the big reasons why I'm glad I'm going to be there at Mania is because I
You
don't
don't
have
hear
to
it.
deal with that dickhead on commentary. Exactly.
And he's screaming. What was he saying? You still got it. That's right. And he was chanting it like I knew he'd say it once or twice, but
He
he
said
kept
it about
doing it.
eight times.
And I'm like, he's going, you still got it, and he's screaming, and then everyone, and I'm just sitting there going, Cole and Saxon are probably going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I hated it. I don't know what the hell it was about. Hopefully that wasn't Vince screaming in his ear, but yeah. Next match, Thomas.
I don't know. Yes. Okay. Now, my guys, Enzo and Cass versus Dash and Dawson, who are growing on me. These guys have great chemistry together, really, really good psychology. I want to see, I'm a big Enzo and Cass fan. I want to see them at Mania, and I want to see them debut on Monday, but I don't think they will because the best time to debut them, and you got to keep them in front of really smarky crowds to get them over properly. So the best time to debut them is going to be the Raw after WrestleMania. But this, I would go as on a limb as to say, other than maybe the title match, was the match of the night. Because Cass is really getting really good in the ring. Enzo's work is improving, and Dash and Dawson are both just great heels, and their finisher is just awesome. I really like it. So like 3D combined with a code breaker type thing. It's so good.
It is good. By the way, your mic's crackling. I don't know if you realise.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to fix it. Usually it fixes itself, but hopefully it fixes. Yeah, no, you're right. The match was good. Dash and Dawson, who I haven't watched a lot of, were really good. Enzo and Cass, it's clear now they're never going to win the NXT titles, which is fine because.
But they had a match to protect. They were never going to win because they'd already booked the takeover feud, which is Dash and Dawson versus the American Alpha, Gable and Jordan, which will be fun. It'll be a good match. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to it.
Think your mic's back and good, so that's good. Yeah, it's funny because I remember when Jordan, he was at the NXT WrestleMania Access last year, and everyone didn't know who he was. He was tagging with some random guy, and now look at him. He's pretty over with Gable.
He went through about 10 tag team partners. So.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So yeah, we'll see them debut soon, hopefully, and I don't know. Hopefully they get a good push and they don't stuff them up. So. Next, what do we got next? I'll start it off this, but you talk more about the match because I didn't watch the whole match.
Well, there wasn't much to watch.
It seemed like it went forever because I was watching it.
It was a good match because Natalya was up for it, given that it was in Canada. I thought the finish was a little bit of a worry, but it was a good technical match. You know, like Natalya was probably a couple of years ahead of her time. If she was involved in this Divas Revolution, she would have been right at the very top, I think, because she's really, really good from a perspective, personality-wise. She can talk, she can wrestle, she's a whole package. And she may end up getting back into it, but who knows?
It seems a bit too little too late to me, in my opinion.
So I thought that the finish was a bit of a worry because Rick sort of went out to grab Charlotte. I don't think there was any way that Natty could have seen that. She pulled the hold back into the middle of the ring, then sort of just dropped the hold and went to confront Ric Flair when nothing had happened.
Yeah.
So, and then just got rolled up and lost. It's so many problems with so many Divas matches. They have such good matches, and then there's just the roll-up of death, which kills everything. So
Well, I don't know. I mean, we knew who was going to win, and that's another annoying thing about this show was that we knew who was going to win every match. But
it was as I said, it was a glorified house show, and it was a little added bonus for subscribing to the network a little bit earlier, so you can get a little bit of a taste of what it's like before WrestleMania.
And yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I think we all wanted Charlotte to win just so we could see the NXT triple threat match that we wanted at Mania. So
I'm very looking forward to that.
They always seem to put NXT Natalya in these matches that don't matter, like to pass time. I don't know what they do with her, but anything's better than her fighting gimmick. So
well, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so sorry if I sound like shit. I think I'm getting a cold.
No, that's fine, man. You're good.
Next topic, Tom, you can go under the way with that one.
So we're talking about Brock versus the Wyatts here, are we?
The Conqueror! Yes.
Yes, we are. So Paul Heyman fighting out of the Conqueror's corner. Love it.
Awesome.
Love it. Puts him over as a fighter. Big badass. Great. I just love Paul Heyman. Everyone does.
It's such a great combination.
A handicap match, which was, of course, always going to be a squash.
That's what to talk about. I knew that.
Luke Harper got in some really, really good offense, and he's one of my other favourites as well.
Yep. Underrated. Probably most underrated in the moment.
It gave Brock his tune-up match, put him in the front of everybody's mind, protected Bray Wyatt so they can have another match down the road, and maybe opens up another random possibility for WrestleMania. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing I was a bit annoyed
served its purpose. It was, yeah.
While there was no announcement of a handicap match, which I didn't understand. We all wanted to ultimately, it's a house show, and if it leads to protecting Bray Wyatt rather than just feeding him to Brock, I'm all for it. So yeah, I suppose it's clear that they don't want to bury Bray, but they just keep doing it. It's hard to explain. But
who knows? I mean, Bray.
That would have been better if it was Rowan.
Who knows what they're going to do with Bray? Nobody knows what they want to do with Bray.
I know.
So,
but yeah, I mean, we still haven't had the Brock versus Bray match, and Bray Harley was in the match, so it was just Suplex City as it always is, and
yep, doing what they do.
And he goes on to Ambrose now, which we still don't know who's gonna win. I'd like to say Brock will probably win, but either way, it's fine. I think for them too.
Yep.
And we'll see what they do with Bray, because God knows what they're doing with him. Maybe
I'm sick of the sound of my own voice, so you can take into the next one.
Yes, okay, fair enough. I know. I just we're nearly. It's only going to be a short video today, just a quick review. Sammy vs Stardust. Great. I didn't know this match was on. I don't know if you did, Tom.
No. It was a last minute announcement.
And these music hit, and the crowds jumped up, which is always great. Hometown. I love Zayn's entrance music. It could not be more of a babyface theme. Like, it just can't.
Oh, it's
if it ever turns heel, he has to change his music.
Yeah.
But he comes out.
He's going to be good.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. I'm going to point out have you noticed when he runs through the ring and he stands on the stairs, you know how he usually does that big arm pump thing?
Yep.
He doesn't do that as much anymore because that's how he got injured against Cena.
Which is good. He shouldn't be doing anything that's going to be putting him at risk of injury, you know?
I know, and he usually goes nuts at the turn. He's going, "Rah!" And this time he kind of just goes. So,
yeah,
it's good. Protect the guy, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
So, Stardust again. Why? But, they've got to do something. I was hoping Owens would come out, but didn't happen. Probably because he's at the house show, I gather.
Owens was on the other side of the continent, so, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, good match, good finish. Another thing I want to mention, which I forgot to mention, the good thing about these shows are that all the matches were long because there was no backstage crap. There was a couple, but nothing serious.
Yeah, because they gave him a chance to work,
Yeah, and it was literally it was just long matches.
It's exposure for them. Like, I think the reason why Enzo and Cass and Dash and Dawson were so good is because they gave them time to work with.
Yep. Yeah, so good match. They're obviously building up Zayn for Mania. I still don't see it being a singles match in Mania. I want it to be, but I don't think it will be.
I think Dolph and The Miz will get involved somehow. Maybe Neville as well.
And this never will. Even Stardust now.
Yeah.
6-man maybe I think they're going to go with the ladder match again, and I'm happy with that. Like,
I don't mind that.
The US title's going to be right back, so who gives a shit?
Oh God.
So disappointing to think what's happened. I know, because it's just to think the US Open Challenge, and I was there for the first one, and it was awesome, and to think where that's gone, and just,
in 12 months' time,
But considering where the US title was 3 years ago, it's still in a better spot. Remember when Ambrose had it, and no one talked about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting to that point again, so I don't know what they're going to do. I think they should. I don't know. I said last week, put in the Battle Royal. I don't know, but we'll see what they do. Hopefully they just do. If they do Police versus Ryback, it should just be the pre-show, and I think that'll be fine. Get it out the way. No one will care.
Please, no Ryback going over at WrestleMania. Do me this one favor, please.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think it's going to happen. So, yeah.
I'm in trouble. I know.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. We keep saying that, and that's the end. That was the second last match of the night. I thought Brock would be the second last, but it wasn't. And next topic, Thomas. I'll talk because you stick your own voice. Triple H versus Ambrose world title match. We knew it was going to happen. It was a good match though. I'll let you dissect the match, Tom.
I liked it. Ambrose got in a hell of a lot of offense. It was a believable match, which it had to be. Really, really good for a house show. Triple H still looks dynamite in the ring.
Always will be.
He's never really lost it. So what I would say is we're probably looking at Ambrose feudings for the title shortly after Mania, which will be fun. I almost shit myself when I thought he'd won with that false 3 count. I don't know whether or not the count of 3 was supposed to be the actual finish, but yeah, I think...
watched. I'll cut you off there. I watched the replay and they showed the replay, so it wasn't. And I remember you messaged me when it happened, and you said it was that a botch. It wasn't a botch because if you watch it, the angle they showed when is it John Kane or John Cone? His name, the ref, Cone. When he hit the 3, he was actually looking at the feet, and as soon as it was almost like he hit it and went, "Oh nah," and it was really well done by the ref. He's probably the best ref going around. As well as Yoda. And it was really well done. Like I remember I was watching it and we knew he was going to win. But when it happened, I was just sitting there on my other monitor and I'm like, "Oh, hang on." I just reacted like, "Oh shit." And I think that's what it was meant to do. Like, false finish. And it sold the Dirty Deeds move, which we thought wouldn't happen. I remember last week I said it would take 3 to beat him, and one of them technically beat him. So it was awesome. It's clear that they want Ambrose up there. It's just a matter of executing it, and he'll get that first title soon. I think. If
he won't be far away.
It's just a matter of will he get it before Rollins does. So.
He could have it for when Rollins comes back. Would be a good.
I hope not. It would be good. Like we know those matches would be good, but I still think Triple H being champion with Rollins coming back is the best for business.
Yeah.
I don't see that's going to happen, but because then I think Reigns has to go over at Mania because it's been built up for 2 years. 2 years now.
Yeah, well.
So
he should have gone over at last year's Mania, but
the best thing happened ever. So
yeah, well.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't like the fact that they've left Reigns off the smart mark crowds. It annoys the shit out of me because they realize that they realize that makes me I don't talk. That makes you realize that they know that he's not over and they still won't do anything. I'm hoping they do a swerve at Mania like they did last year.
Who knows? They might work out something to do, but look, it's going to be a really, really good match. It's just going to be sort of like the only thing people are pissed off about is pissed off that it's Roman Reigns. They're pissed off that it's so telegraphed. That the main event of Mania, everyone knows how it's going to win. Every other match couldn't tell you who's going to win. You know, couldn't honestly tell you who's going to win any of those other matches. But yeah, who knows? I really, really hope there's some sort of swerve and Triple H keeps it or something like that. But I really, really think this is the Reigns moment that we've been building to for however long.
Yep. So I mean, it was a good overall. That was a good match. The table broke. I like the finish. Ambrose is just getting back before the 10 count and copping the pedigree.
I thought it was a little bit rushed, but yeah, it was a good finish because it puts Ambrose out for a little while now.
Yeah, well, only 3 weeks to go to Mania. It seems weird that that is, but yes. Overall, we should talk in conclusion. What do we think of the show? I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10, maybe.
I'd probably if I'm going gradings, I'd give it a
B.
B or a B plus because you'd probably a B plus because B would be if it was just the show itself, but you add the little plus because the matches were so good. It was a good wrestling show. Yeah,
definitely.
At least from my perspective, anyway.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was better than a lot of pay-per-views we've seen.
We got it for nothing on the network, and it was effectively for a glorified house show. It was really good.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Good to see Triple H back in the ring. He hasn't had a singles match since Sting, so
Yeah. Well,
He still got it. He always will, I reckon. So
keeps himself a
overall,
good neck as well,
good show. Gives us a couple more weeks to build up to Mania. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see what they do. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for that first shot of the crowd and the stadium. That's what I can't wait for the most. Just seeing how many they're going to get in that bloody arena.
Looking out for me to the right-hand side of the camera.
Yes.
That's where I'll be.
Yeah. And yeah, I just love that start of the show is always the best. So
yeah.
You're leaving soon, are you? A week or so?
I head off in 12 days' time. I head off Friday week. So yeah, that'll
What time? Do you have to do early flight or late flight?
Early flight's at 8:30 in the morning. Fly into LA and then have a few days there. Then over to Dallas for wrestling at Nirvana. Which will be
nice. Well, all right. Thanks for that. That was a short one today. We just want to do a quick post-show review. I sound like shit. I can tell I'm getting a bit sick. Sorry for that. Tom's taken the weight of the show.
That's all right. I got it on my back. It's fine, man. No problems.
And while you're at it, you got to make sure you get one of those KO Mania shirts. By the way.
Oh, I'm getting 3 of them. You know, that's a great shirt. I love it to bits. I'll be getting them. I'll be getting the logo shirt. I'll be getting some other shirts. I may send you a picture if you want to do a bit of a sort of review thing or whatever on that. From NXT Dallas, I've got a bet going with my brother where we have to buy each other what we think is like the worst, most smarkiest shirt possible. So I'll send you a couple of pictures and you can vote on which you think who's won that challenge. So
what are these custom shirts? Are these custom shirts?
No, these are shirts we can buy from the Superstore.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've got a few ideas in mind, and he's got a few ideas in mind for me. But we're gonna get there, see what's the worst we can find, and
that's go. That'd be good. It must be so good going with someone, especially your brother. So
yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, we're both looking forward to it.
Wrestling still, if only. He kind of grew up, so as you can see by the shit around me, I really didn't grow up.
Don't grow up. It's the worst thing.
It's the worst thing. Just be a kid. Just stay at home, live with your mum like I do. It's fine. And that's it. Thanks for that. We've rambled on a bit. Thanks for watching Roadblock Review. We'll be doing WrestleMania shit. We'll be on the last cast standing next week, hopefully for Raw, if Tom can. If not, we'll do it at night, so it'll definitely be up. And I think Shane McMahon's advertised for that Raw. I could be wrong. So hopefully it's a good show. And we'll see you shortly. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the other stuff. Tom, say goodbye because I'm rambling.
See you guys next time.
Thank you. I'm going to do the usual thing I do. Bye. Ah!